this is that boot with the foot still in it, and I'm going to look at this on the microscope right now. But you see this? This is on the front, and that's not something that I would expect to see. And then there's also this red color here, if you can see that, which is indicative of either blood or rust from maybe some kind of iron or nail or something. I don't know. But it's what we're looking at here is there's a lot of things here, like even this. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like it's patched in here. You know, obviously that's not something that is the architecture of a foot. That's all I'm saying. Now, I can't explain it. I don't know what to say. And obviously this is the architecture of a foot. I looked at a foot that was in a flip-flop the other day, and it had the exact same architecture right there. Totally exactly identical. Now we're going to look at this in the microscope, and you'll see that it's animal skin. And I showed this very carefully, you know, a lot in the last couple of videos. So, and I'll be just keeping going deeper and deeper into this. But this is it's a foot, and you know, the bone is there, and the bone black is here, and the fibula would hang off this side, and that portion is cracked off. And we're going to look at all this stuff with the microscope in a second here. All right, so that's what we're going to do right now. All right, this right here is the top of that boot, which is where the, which I'm saying is skin. And I will show you, this is some kind of a dense leather skin. And as it goes back, as you saw that split, I'm going to move it back here to where that split occurred right there. And that is where I said the flip-flop, the guy had a flip-flop looking thing. You see what's under that split? This is exactly what happens when leather splits and you get the underneath of it. And I'm going to show you that in the microscope as well. And as it keeps coming back and back up his foot, you can see that there's more of this dense stuff here. And then at some point it's going to hit his foot. And now we're into where his, up in here somewhere, where his actual foot would be. Right there. And that's going to be hard to see. Hold on. This is now, we're into where his actual foot is. The little black spots are all over because that's silicone, and it's part of the structure of all tissues. But now you're going back into where his tendons are. And those are the tendons that lift up his foot. And now we're going back to where the bone was. You see the red of the bone? That's part of the, oops. That's where blood leaked out of the arterial place in the bone, and then we'll look for the bone black, which is where the artery, where the vein was. And that's up over here. See that? It's bone black, leaking out of the bone. See little holes? See what that is? The little holes it's leaking out of? And this is, you know, towards where the bone was. Let's see if I can find the center. The center of the bone is right in here somewhere. It's all congealed over now, but let's see. See that round spot right there? See this round area? That's where the bone was. And going this way, there's the exact center of the bone. Going over this way, there's the other side of the bone. So it's pretty clear. You see it? And then outside of it, that's the tendon. The white part, that's where the tendon wraps up. So there's the bone, and there's a tendon wrapping around it. That's the Achilles tendon. And then this side, there's a tendon as well, see? That's the tendon there. So that's his bone and the back. Now we're going to look at some other stuff. Alright, this is going to be hard to keep still, but if you remember that circle that was on the front of the shoe, that I'm calling a shoe or a boot or whatever it was. This is that circle that was on the very front. Now look at this carefully. There's something in the center, and then there's these little tabs all the way around, and there's more of something around. This is some kind of an emblem or something. I mean, it's completely circular. And it's tied in with a bunch of almost looks like ribbons or something that are coming off of it. You see this coming up like this? I don't know what to say. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing. You're seeing what I'm seeing. That is on the front of this boot. And it looks like it's holding something together. This is not a natural pattern of anything other than like a flower or something. And you know, you don't grow flowers out of your feet. Well, I don't. Haven't yet, anyway. So anyway, and then if you come over here, I don't know if you can see it or not. I have to get more light. Let me crank up the light a little bit. All right, coming down from that circle towards the bottom of the screen is where the arch of his front of his foot is, and then it goes back to the back of his foot. But this is not, there's something there. This is not natural, and this is a Triassic foot. And that's just what it is, a Triassic foot. Now I'm going to take it down here. Let me take the scope out of here. And I'll go right up close. Let's let me take it out of the white out here. Hold on. Now, all right, there's that skin. All right. That's the skin of the guy's foot. Now this is the skin that is on the shoe. Now let me show you something. This is the skin that is on my belt. All right. Now let's go back to this one. You see this here? That's the skin of the guy's foot. You see how dense the brown gooey looking stuff is? That's the stuff that protects you from the world. This guy's got the same stuff. You know, I mean, his belt. You know, something's been done to it. It's been scuffed around. Now, this is the back of what it looks like. You see that? It's the same thing. That's the back of my belt. You see? Now, that's the foot here, right here. This is the foot. I don't see a whole lot of difference from that leather to this. Now, it's been broken away here. Like the top layer of the skin of the shoe has been broken off. You see it here? And now we're going down deeper into the lower layer of the skin of the boot, whatever this tissue is, which is the protection that this guy had around his foot. And then it got deeper and deeper below, and then you get into this matrix. Now, let's look at what the belt looks like on its side. Hold on, let me get that a little light. I can see what I'm doing. Here's the side of the belt. Oops, if you can, hold on. You see what happens? That's what happens with skin. You see the outer layer? It's identical stuff. And you come down through that goopy stuff, and you get down to the inside, which is the where it mates up to the lower tissue layer, like the this is what they call, I believe, this invests into the areolar tissue. These little fibers and things stick into a bunch of little tiny holes all over your body, and that's what glues your skin to the underneath part, so it doesn't slide around under like a plastic bag just slipping around. So that's what this is. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's what it is. I can't help what it is what it is, what it is. It's all it is. Now this is the guy's bottom of his foot, and that looks normal to me as the basement layer of skin. When you get deeper, it has to invest into something, and that's what it invests into, just like this right here. This is on the bottom of his foot too, and I believe this is literally the bottom of his foot. So what would that mean? That would mean there was another, let me bring it down here. That would mean that there would be another, what do you call it, the sole on that boot, which is obviously not there now. So, and but that appears to be torn away here. So here's what you're looking at. Here's the guy's foot, and that's too thick already. Now, in addition, there's something here I think it had a little more depth to it, and it was just a big blocky thing keeping them warm or something. That's all I can tell you. But that's what it is, and it's Triassic rock, and it appears to me that that is not a natural structure. It is a shoe and a foot, or I mean it's a foot, and it appears to be a shoe unless they grew them like that long ago, and I don't think that was the case. So I think it needs to be looked at. If they're saying that's Triassic rock, and it is in Connecticut, and this is, you know, found where I have the footprint. I showed that before with its footprint over here somewhere. But anyway, that's it needs to be looked at. So it's mudfossils.com, and it's Mudfossils and New Science on Facebook, and Mudfossils Revelation talks about the ancient texts, talked about this. And there's also Science Theory Challenge, which I challenge science in a lot of theories, not just this. So pay attention if you would, or if you don't want to, don't. But if you want to, I certainly would like comments, questions, somebody else to do some research on this. That's all I was ever asking for. All right, thank you. Bye.